You are now listening to the Where's the Line podcast with Joseph West and Britt Dillard. Enjoy the show.
Another edition of Where's the Line. It is Tuesday, July 25th, episode number 88. My name is Britt Dillard. I'm joined here by Joseph West. How are you today, Joseph?
Doing great. Britt Dillard, how about yourself?
I'm doing good. It's Tuesday. I'm alive. I got to go to work today, and God got me home safely. So
That's right.
I am blessed to be here, and it's good to hear your voice.
It always is here. It is always good. That is all there is to it. I don't know what else to say. All right. Well, listen, we are back once again. We are chomping at the bit. The dog days are over.
Listen up, everybody.
Fall camp starts tomorrow. The football season is 32 days away if you're a Vanderbilt fan, 39 if you like anybody else. So you're under 40 no matter what. Okay? This is a magical time. We're in the home stretch. It feels like every day it gets further away because you're like, how's it still 30 days? But it's going to be here real quick. And I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's going to be here. After media days, it really just gets the ball rolling on football, and then you've got some guys committing to, and just adds to the excitement. See some uniform stuff coming out. It's just
Very true.
We're like a month away.
Football's coming up. Burning question. Everybody's been talking about them. LSU. Britt, a lot of people are super high on LSU. Some people are skeptical of LSU. I think both have a right take and good reasoning behind it. Britt, how do we feel about LSU? Obviously, we're inconsistent last year, but year two under Big BK, Brian Kelly, how we feeling?
Well, I think if you just ask the question, what is LSU? The first thing I think of, it's a team with a lot of talent. Just the state that they're in, you can get 6 or 7 guys a class just from the state of Louisiana that could start pretty much anywhere at some point in their career. So that's the first thing I think of. They're never going to be void of talent. The second thing I think of is Brian Kelly. He's just a really good coach, has a great track record everywhere he's been. Look at the turnaround he had in year one. Had a big win. They beat Alabama. It's pretty good in year one. And just for this year specifically, to have an experienced quarterback who much like he reminds me of Hendon Hooker his first year, just efficient with the ball, had good numbers, and has a lot of potential going into this year.
I would agree. I think that when you look at LSU, you obviously think their offense is going to be much better this year. My biggest question mark around LSU was just inconsistencies last year. They would have games where you thought they were really bad or maybe below average, and then they would have games where you thought they were amazing. So I think that's probably just part of having a first-year coach. But, can they iron out those inconsistencies? Because, the UT game was just about over after the opening kickoff got fumbled. I mean, UT never looked back. But, even after fumbling the opening kickoff, they were just dead that whole game. And even UT fans will tell you, UT's defense wasn't good last year, and LSU's offense could do nothing. They couldn't do anything. It was like they just rolled down, or laid down, I guess I should say. So, will that happen if bad things happen to them? I don't know. Brent, where do you have them sitting? I mean, just as far as trying not to get into our power rankings or anything, but, what do you think about this team? Are they a top 6 team, or are they a bottom, or are they a top 7 team, or are they a bottom 7 team? Where you got them?
In the SEC, I mean, I think in the SEC, they're definitely a top 2 to 3 team in the SEC West. I mean, last year there were talks at the end of the year about them getting in the playoff with the 2 losses they had, or no, it was 3 losses, I guess. But I mean, at week 1, you lose in overtime against Florida State. I think that's a game everybody watched just because there wasn't much football on, and it was kind of the nightcap. And then, like you said, the Tennessee game, they just came out flat. They lost a game they shouldn't have with Texas A&M. So LSU's a team that easily could have been in the conversation had they had their feet under them early in the season. And I mean, I think going into this year, I don't think they lost much. So, I mean, I could see them pushing Alabama in the West, but the SEC is very much a league of what have you done for me lately? And I mean, last year LSU was a good team.
Yeah, I mean that's a really good point. I think that LSU will sit atop of the SEC. I think they probably do lose a game or two, though. I've seen some people saying they think they're going to go undefeated. I think that's a little crazy. Their inconsistencies scare me. If I had to kind of give an early look, I would probably say 10-2 at LSU. But we'll see. Kind of like I said, as the fall camps really start to progress here in the next week, and the season comes around, we'll see what LSU is. Brett, anything else?
I mean, nothing else. LSU's always going to be there. I mean, they've shown since the introduction of NIL that they're willing to dish out money in every single sport to be
Very
good,
true.
which is awesome. If you're a fan of LSU, to take advantage of that, it'd be really fun. I think Tennessee's doing something similar, not quite to the same scale, but just a team with a lot of money that LSU's always going to be right there, either
Yeah.
good or close to being good.
So LSU done. We got a new thing we're gonna do here. This is a time capsule. Okay, we got a little, maybe a new segment here, the time capsule. Um, Britt, in 3 years, um, specifically talking about Tennessee, where do you see Tennessee at? I mean, I know you're talking about in 3 years, a lot could happen. Shoot, the wheels could fall off. Heupel may not be there. The wheels could go instead of a good trajectory, a bad one for Vanderbilt as well. Clark Lee could not be there. So you're speaking in complete hypotheticals here, but in 3 years, Oklahoma and Texas will be in the conference. It'll be a 16-team league. What do we think? What's the trajectory for Tennessee as of now?
Well, for Tennessee, 3 years is an eternity. I mean, you've had one, two, three, four. You've had 6 head coaches in the last 20 years. 3 years from right now, you had Jeremy Pruitt. 3 years from Jeremy Pruitt, you had Butch Jones, and then 4 or 5 from there, you had Derek Dooley. So, I mean, the first thing I think of when I hear 3 years from now is I hope Josh Heupel is still the coach at Tennessee, because we've seen how fast Tennessee moves on from coaches, or coaches move on from Tennessee, and just so much can happen in 3 years.
Very true.
Another thing I think of is having Nico. If Nico is as good as advertised, I think he will help you a lot over the next few years, obviously. But looking past Nico, I think he's just going to set a foundation that's going to allow Tennessee to be good in 3 years. In 3 years from now, we'll know if Josh Heupel's offense can be figured out by SEC teams and coaches. That'd be interesting to see. Be interesting to see if Tennessee can build a decent defense in that time period. What your defensive staff looks like, but in a perfect world, Tennessee is a team that's going to win 8, 9, 10 games every year for the next foreseeable future with Josh Heupel, and it's fun to think about just what's going to be going on. I mean, 3 years from now, there may not even be there may just be 2 conferences in football. You never know what's going to happen. You're going to have a 12-team playoff. That's a good point. I just thought of. I mean, the goal for Tennessee should be to be in the 12-team playoff every year in the next 3 years.
Okay. Any bold predictions? Anything you want to say? Anything bold? This will happen in the next 3 years. Tennessee has a Heisman candidate in the next 3 years.
Oh yeah, I think that could happen this year. With Georgia the way they are, I can't say they'll win the SEC in the next 3 years.
Okay.
Let's say play for an SEC championship in 3 years.
Okay. So you're going to play for an SEC championship in the next 3 years.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that prediction. Dude. Good stuff, Bob Britt there.
Well, let's hear your stuff. I've been talking a lot.
No, you're fine. We like when Mr. Diller's vocal. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes I just got to sit back, be the host. Okay, and just soak it let you do your thing. Man, with Vanderbilt, I mean, I think first of all, you're still in off-season mode right now, right, Britt? Everything's positive, right? We're talking fully positive right now, so I'm going to stick with that attitude. Totally positive. Man, if things go how I think they can go, I think you look at 2024 and possibly see a down year, Britt, with what the schedule is. You've got Bama, LSU, Tennessee, Texas, like your schedule isn't your best friend in 2024. But if things go right for Vanderbilt in the next 3 years, which you're looking all the way out past 2025 season, I think you could see Vanderbilt crack the top 25. I would say for sure. In the next 3 years, if you ask me, will Vanderbilt be ranked? I would say yes. I think there's a possibility, there's a road for us to be ranked this year. And maybe not at the end of the season, but you could at least see us ranked at one point during the season, which hasn't happened since James Franklin was here, which would just show a huge step in the right direction. In the next in 3 years, I hope, obviously, it's great for me, like Britt said, if Lee's still here. If Lee's still at Vanderbilt in 3 years, things are probably going really good. We did get him a contract extension, which I don't think I spoke on last time on here, through 2029. I think it was a lot of people thought it was early. Maybe it was, but I think it just proved something at Vanderbilt, that they believe in what Lee believes in. He believes in them. They believe in him, just back and forth. But getting back on track, Vanderbilt will have state-of-the-art facilities in 3 years. Vanderbilt will have the nicest stadium they've ever had in their time. And the south and north end zones will be a part. I mean, not the whole stadium won't be, but those individual parts of the stadium will be some nicest parts in all of the SEC, if not the nicest, from the drawings that I've seen and the things that I've seen. I would think that would be two sections that would be the nicest sections in the SEC. Maybe not the top spot, but I would say top three or so. So you look at Vanderbilt never having these facilities for, having a coach that has a vision in Nashville, from Nashville. Family lives there. I don't think he goes anywhere. Look, my positive mindset says you see Vanderbilt do great things. I think you maybe even see them win the most games they ever have. Maybe they get a 10-win season in there. That would be with a bowl. I'm not trying to say Vanderbilt goes 10-2. I don't think that's very likely. But in order for me to say Vanderbilt couldn't go 9-3, I think I wouldn't be a very good fan if I said that. So I think bold prediction would be Vanderbilt's ranked at least once during the season in the next 3 years. And they go out and win 9 games. I will say that's including the postseason. So with a bowl, I would say Vanderbilt wins 9 games one year. If I was having to look at the vision from here, that would be my 2 main points.
How do you feel about the Clark Lee contract extension?
I think when it first came out, I texted a group chat that I'm in with 5 other Vanderbilt fans. And I said, how do y'all feel about the contract extension? I think the Stackhouse extension really left a sour taste in my mouth, because Stackhouse had done nothing and gets an extension. Kind of same thing with Lee here. Lee's had 2 years. He went 2-10 in year 1, not his fault. Had a great rebound year in year 2, 5-7. The year Britt says, you figure out if they're a good coach. I think Clark Lee overshot his expectations. I would say he did a good job. Regardless, it was early, yes, but I'm not mad about it, because I think it's symbolic. I heard them use that word on the Door Report about this, and I thought that was great. It's symbolic. It just shows, once again, they believe in each other. Lee believes in the vision. They believe in what Lee's doing. That means a lot. And, I'm not mad at it one bit. I don't think Lee goes anywhere. I think they're getting out in front of the contracts that could be thrown Lee's way. Flashing back to 2011, James Franklin went 6-6 and lost his bowl game, and got interviews for the NC State job. He got interviews for the USC job. Like, he was getting offers thrown his way at 6-6 in Vanderbilt. I think that says a lot about several different things, but ultimately that if you go 6, or if you win 6 or 7 games at Vanderbilt, you could be a hot commodity, which may sound crazy, but people see how hard the job is, and you're in the SEC, and you have different standards, and you haven't invested like other programs UT and LSU have. You win 7 games, that's a huge step. So I think they're getting out in front. I like this contract extension. It's grown on me in the last few days, so I'm glad I waited to talk about it until this week, opposed to last week.
Yeah, I've never considered some of those points. I guess for me, it's just we did the same thing with Jeremy Pruitt after year 2. And I guess my thoughts on it are, if nobody's trying to steal him from you, make him earn it, I guess. I mean, and that's what Josh Heupel did this year. He earned his extension.
And I would agree to an extent, but I think also another reason I don't sweat it is because we've seen contract extensions really mean nothing in college football anymore. They don't. If somebody wants Lee bad enough, they'll buy out the rest of his contract.
Yeah.
Oh, and if we really want to get rid of him, we'll fire him anyways and pay him out. I mean, UT did it with Pruitt. Now Vanderbilt's a little bit more.
Oh, we didn't pay Pruitt.
Laid back. Oh, I forgot you didn't because of
took him to court.
Stuff.
We ended up paying for it.
Vanderbilt's a little bit laid back as far as we won't fire a coach. I mean, Mason should have been fired at least a year, if not two, before he was. I mean, that's coming from a guy who liked Mason. But I don't mind this. I really don't. I think that I had a negative outlook on it. I have a very positive one now. Like I said, we're in that. I don't have to be negative at all. Fall camp doesn't start till tomorrow, and if anything bad happens, I'll start to be negative. But until tomorrow, we're on the bright side, baby. You can call me Mr. Brightside.
Yeah, I was just curious about that. I saw that and I was like, Okay.
Yeah, I think that I think that the most exciting thing for Vanderbilt fans this year, and myself included, is that Vanderbilt doesn't have a lot of how do I say this? There's just so much potential. There's so much potential there, and I don't remember the last time you could have said that. There's a lot of young guys who redshirted last year that you've heard great things about in the last year. And there's just a lot of potential with the young guys. And our season will hinge on how they play because they're going to play. How can your redshirt freshman and freshman produce? And we'll see. But, yeah, I'm just fired up. I'm ready for football. I can't wait. Can't wait for fall camp reports tomorrow. I'm going to try to go to a scrimmage. So, I mean, I'm fired up. I'm full football right now.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting there too with tickets, single game tickets going on sale for a lot of teams. Kind of just looking at prices, building excitement for those. I'm getting there for sure.
Yeah, it's fired up. Fired up. I've already talked about going to Gainesville. That's not even a trip I had planned, but I got asked about it today, and I was like, why not? If Vanderbilt is what, Britt, I should go to Gainesville. If they've got this record going into the Florida game, I should go.
What game is it?
They're game 6. Florida would be 7. It would be Hawaii, Alabama A&M, UNL or Wake Forest, UNLV, Kentucky, Missouri. Yeah, we have 6 games before them. So if Vanderbilt has this record, you got to go. Like you just gotta be there if they've got this record.
I think if they have 4 or more wins, I think if you win 4 out of those 6, because Florida's not going to be good. Florida's not going to be good.
I would agree. I don't think they're going to be anything other than average or below. So, I think it's a winnable game, but I would be more or less to the 5 side. I would say 5-1 or 6-0. I don't know if you could keep me. If we're 6-0, I will be in Gainesville, and no one should doubt that because I'm literally insane. I'm a goon. Like, you don't want this problem if Vanderbilt 6-0. This podcast will have 0 listeners. Like, this will be, I'll be the most obnoxious human for 6 weeks of my life. It's a lot of hypotheticals going on. But I'm just saying, if we're 6-0, I'll be in Gainesville. 5-1, I'd be damn tempted to be there. And anything less than that, I probably wouldn't go, honestly. But I just wanted to hear Britt's take on that, randomly.
This podcast probably won't have a co-host if y'all are 6-0.
That could be true. I mean, I could even run my own co-host off, and that'd be fine. I would just record every day 5 seconds. Just anchor down every day. That's all I'd post. Except for like the breakdown and previews. The other days would just be new episode, anchor down. That's it. It'd be crazy. The world doesn't need it, but it's going to get it eventually. I could be 70.
No, if Vanderbilt starts 6-0, the entire country will be behind them.
Oh, we'll have a lot of people on our side. There's no doubt about that because everybody likes a good underdog.
You'll have everyone on your side.
No, there will be some people that still won't be on our side, and I know them, and I'll be coming after them. I can think of 20 off the top of my head I'd be coming after people, and that's just people I'm not even thinking about, like boom, 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 rapid fire names. And when I really started sitting down and writing down names, I come up with a bunch, guaranteed.
You come up with my name?
I'm throwing your name, but you would not be happy for us. But I don't blame you. I don't want you to be happy for us.
I don't know that I wouldn't be.
I think, though,
I mean,
However,
y'all
like
can beat the scrubs of the SEC. I mean, that's fine with me.
I remember when UT last year beat Bama, and in my heart, I was so angry. I didn't want UT to win. I hate Tennessee. I never want them to win a game. Like, it's that simple. I hate them. But I was happy for Britt. I found a part of myself that was like, man, I'm really glad Cody and Britt are getting to experience this moment in England. I'm sure it was magical. I just knew it was. And of course, after talking to them, they had a very magical experience and talked about how awesome it was. And it was, but I wasn't happy for Tennessee. And there would be a lot of UT fans who would not be happy for Vanderbilt. Now, there's some who don't hate Vanderbilt, near as much, or grew up kind of with half of their family Vanderbilt, sorry, and half of them UT, and that would cause maybe not so hate so much or more, depending on the family, I guess. But yeah, not everybody, but there would be a lot of teams who would be happy for us, and fans, Missouri fans in particular. I feel like we bond a lot. I bond with Missouri fans a lot.
Yeah, part of me thinks I may have witnessed the peak moment of my live sports viewing. More than likely, that was the best sports moment I'll ever see live. More likely than not.
Yeah, I definitely haven't seen mine yet. Not even close. We're on the rise. Like, this is the rising action. If we're building a movie plot, Vanderbilt's in the rising action right now. And we've came out of the ashes like a phoenix.
Do you think this podcast would be better if if both of our teams were really good, or if they
100%.
both were so terribly bad?
No, because if they're really good, the takes are going to be out the roof. Now, the same thing if they're bad. If they were both really bad, but then, like, for me, that's like, okay, I've been here before. But like, and even for you, because like you suffered through Pruitt and Dooley, so it's like, like it would be things people have heard before. But if we're good at the same time, like coming down to the UT and Vanderbilt game, riding on who goes to the SEC championship, or in the new conference, since there's no East and West, we could both be going no matter what. Can you imagine if we played each other last week of the season and then played each other again for the SEC championship? I would lose my mind. I would have the most outrageous takes ever. And it would be a different level of hate for Tennessee. Because it wouldn't be a level of take of like, because like right now I hate UT because UT fans think they're good, but they never have been until last year. They've never been relevant one bit until last year. That's why I hate UT fans now. When I hate UT fans then, in this very hypothetical situation that Vanderbilt's playing for SEC championship, which I adore, by the way.
Okay, hold on. To say that a top 10 win percentage team has never been good until last year is kind of...
They haven't in my lifetime. They hadn't in my lifetime. They had never been good.
They went to the SEC championship.
When I was how old?
I was 7.
So what was that, 2007? Or no, was that 2008? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
7 or 8. Okay, I was 7 years old. I was 7 or 6 years old, depending on when it was going on. So I'm sorry. In times that I can remember, I have never seen UT be good. Let me rephrase. And they have, and a lot of the people younger than me, like 2 and 3 years younger than me, 2 grades down, 3 grades down, would talk to me like UT was good. And that's why I didn't like UT now. Then, though, like I said, in the hypothetical situation, I would hate UT because it'd be a whole different kind of hate. I don't even know how to express it because I've never been there. But I'll be able to tell you what it feels like if it ever happens.
Well, that's why
we'll come back to this podcast.
That's why people are really starting to hate Georgia, is because they've never been good until now. And now they act like they've always been good.
Yes, but I think that you get the bye when you go back to back. Like, there's nothing a Georgia fan can say to me right now. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, they're whack. They're the worst. Like, they're annoying. They're always commenting on Twitter, like, a Vanderbilt fan or a Georgia fan commented on a Vanderbilt post and was like, poor Vandy.
They're
like,
everywhere.
What? You're so annoying. Shut up. But Georgia, I give them a lot of the benefit of the doubt when they're flexing on people because they did go back to back. There's hardly any schools that can say they went back to back, and they're the favorite to three-peat. So, like, that's crazy, and they're on a level that we have never seen before. They just are. Like, I'm sorry. What Kirby Smart has done, the draft picks he's gotten taken in the first round, which is more than double of any other coach. Yet you heard me. He's been coaching this short amount of time, and he's already like double digits ahead of Nick Saban of first round picks. That's crazy. This dude is on another level that we haven't seen before. Georgia win back-to-back, so they get exempt, was my point. They get exempt for like 98% of things that they say, I let it slide. Because if either one of our teams won back-to-back national championships, we would be unhinged. And you can't tell me I'm wrong. We would be an ungodly level of annoying.
Yeah.
And that's why I give them the pass.
I mean, if you win 2 in a row, I mean, that would be really cool. I guess.
A lot of people haven't even won 2 in the modern era.
No.
Like that's a crazy part. Like most teams just have 1. So like we wilding out. But yeah,
just jumped in the
there's a lot of teams though that just think they're hot crap. Even Auburn fans. Like Auburn fans were like, tweet me the day like, tell me when you win a natty. Dude, you won a natty with Cam Newton in like 2010.
Yeah.
More than 10 years ago. Double digit years ago. 13 years ago. Like, what are you talking about?
And they just kind of stumbled up on that one. I mean, they kind of sucked before Cam Newton.
Yeah, and then you just got lucky. And then, like, I don't even like LSU fans talking, really. And they frustrate me a lot. Because, like, no. Give me a break. You won a national championship with Ed Orgeron as the head coach. Joe Burrow shows up and is magically a god in year 2, and Jamar Chase goes crazy.
Yeah,
like
they were just so overshadowed by the next year's Alabama team that was just so much better than them that we just all forgot about LSU.
I'll never forget about that LSU offense. That LSU offense was something different. Goodness.
I think the Mac Jones and that Alabama offense was better in 2020.
Huh?
It was
better. It was not better. It was not even close to better. It was not better. Yeah, because LSU was blowing everybody out in the third quarter, pulled all their starters. They didn't have to do nothing.
What?
They blew everybody out that year. I think they played one close game all year in the regular season. That was it. They blew everybody else out. It was crazy. 2020 also don't count, so their team can't be better. We've said that on this podcast. 2020 does not count. COVID year, don't matter. Didn't happen. Fake national title.
Can I get a drink of water?
No. You can't. Oh, God, this dude, he's killing me. He's killing me. But, yeah, moving on from how 2020 doesn't exist and how great these offenses were in the past, there's several different times that I think you get excited, but when football starts coming around, I'm a big fall camp guy. I love when fall camp comes around. I love how you start hearing about the position battles, who's kind of got the edge right now, who came into the fall camp as the starter, what it's looking like 2 weeks in, then a week before the season, and then of course your roster comes out, your depth chart comes out for week 1. But for Vanderbilt, we've got a handful of different guys that I think make a big impact, or could make a big impact at fall camp, or just dudes to walk out for, or to look out for. Sorry, I can't talk. And I think Britt would obviously say the same. He's probably got some sleepers for Tennessee here.
Yeah.
But Britt, fall camp. Are you a fall? I just got done saying he stepped away. I was a big fall camp guy. I like fall camp. I like the battles on fall camp. You heard that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. What do you think then? I apologize.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, there's guys freshmen that you're excited about coming in, and now more prominently, you've got a lot of transfers coming in that you haven't seen before. The main thing for me is just seeing the freshmen, just how their size, can they play, especially if you've got a quarterback coming in. Are they a beanpole? Do they have weight on them? How they look in the jersey? Stuff like that really excites me. I mean, obviously this year Tennessee's got Nico coming in that we're all excited to see.
Right.
Yeah, but did you want to go through some players you're excited to see?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm excited to see several here in fall camp. Starting with one, I said on this podcast he was going to be the most elite pass rusher Vanderbilt had last year. He was tearing it up in fall camp, winning all his one-on-ones, seeing double teams. Named Miles Capers. Tore his ACL in fall camp. Didn't get to play all last year. hasn't practiced yet, has just been slow at it the last few weeks. Will suit up in fall camp, I've been told. So you could definitely put him on the agenda. Next one for me would be Prince Collie. He's going to be brand new to the team, linebacker, unreal athleticism. I think you just look forward to getting a guy like him from the portal and see what he can do. At the linebacking position for Vanderbilt. Then going to the secondary, we've got Trudell Berry, who I think might be your boundary corner. And he's going to be a redshirt freshman. He got suspended last year for the first 4 games. And so he missed some time, never got the wheels back on. But they say he's the most athletic kid in the secondary. So once again, athleticism for Vanderbilt. That's going to be a great piece for us. And then I think it's hard for me not to say Swan. I would like to see how much he improved from last year, what he learned. I just want to see him against the pass rush, staying consistent, staying healthy. That's kind of where I'd start at fall camp and some guys I'm trying to look at.
All right. Is it my turn?
Go crazy.
I've got 2 transfers I'm really excited to see that should be starting this year for Tennessee. Keenan Peely, the linebacker from BYU, is probably going to get some run at starter, at least to start out. Tennessee, honestly, looks pretty good in the linebacker room, not to get too much into the roster. So I think he'll have a short leash if he's not good, but I think he also could be really good. He's just a guy with a lot of experience. Another transfer that we're going to see a lot of will probably be Tennessee's number 1 receiver, Dante Thornton. Wide receiver from Oregon. 6'5", 214. I think he reminds me of Cedric Tillman, kind of. It's like if Cedric Tillman and Jalen Hyatt had a baby, had a love child. That's Dante Thornton. Looking at freshmen, because when I think of fall camp, I think of freshmen mainly coming in. It's kind of the first look you get. Obviously, Nico. I don't need to talk about him. Arian Carter is a freshman linebacker from Smyrna, I believe. A flip from Alabama. 6'1", 227. He's a 4-star, 183rd nationally. He's going to be pushing for a starting linebacker spot, I think. I think Caleb Beasley is your only linebacker that's Aaron Beasley. Caleb Beasley's a freshman. And Caleb Beasley's a recruit in this class.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Aaron Beasley, I think, is your only linebacker that's locked in, really. Another guy, Cam Selden, he was recruited as a wide receiver, but I think he's going to play running back. 6'2", 222, the 77th ranked player in the 23 class. He's a 4-star. And 2 other guys, Christian Conyer and Jordan Matthews, defensive backs, a 3-star with Conyer and a 4-star with Jordan Matthews. Tennessee had a pretty good secondary class. Honestly, one of the best secondary classes in the SEC last year recruiting. So obviously a point of need. Would like to see if those guys will get some playing time, because if you've ever listened to this podcast, I do not like some players in Tennessee secondary. At this point they have a ton of experience, but they're not good. So
I'd
like to see what
these young dude out there. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, and some of the best defensive backs that Tennessee's had in the last 5 years have been guys that you threw in as a freshman.
Yeah.
Alante Taylor, Bryce Thompson. Those were 2 of your best corners in the last 3 or 5 years. Those are guys that you just threw to the wolves.
Brett, while I'm talking about this, will you pull up Joe Milton? I just need his height and weight, please. Height and weight. There's another guy I'm really looking forward to see at fall camp for Vanderbilt, and I kind of wanted to give him his own spotlight because he's not going to be a guy you hear me talk about all this season unless something crazy happens. But he is a quarterback. Britt, do you have that pulled up, Joe Milton?
Yeah, he's 6'5".
Okay.
6'5", 245.
Okay, perfect. So this guy is going to be – he's competing for the 3rd spot on Vanderbilt's team from what I've been told. It hasn't been decided who's going to be the 3rd string. He's a freshman. His name's Walter Taylor. He's 6'7", 240. He's the biggest quarterback in the SEC, obviously by roster. He can run, and he has a cannon of an arm similar to Joe Milton. I mean, you watch this dude sling it 60 yards in the spring game and looked like he barely threw it. He threw a touchdown pass, I think 62 yards down the sideline to Wilson Long, and like I said, had perfect touch right in the breadbasket. He hasn't been playing football for that long, so that's one thing. His decision making and accuracy, I think, are his two biggest question marks, which are obviously pretty important. But his upside, same thing we've said about Joe Milton, is incredible. He's got all the intangibles to be a great quarterback. This dude could, I think, be really good. But I'm just excited to see, can he stamp himself as the third string quarterback behind AJ Swan as the starter, and then a veteran in Ken Seals, who's gonna, I would assume, have the two spot lockdown. So throwing a wrinkle there, Britt. How about spotlighting the third string quarterback in fall camp?
Yeah, who is this guy?
Walter Taylor, man. He was from Georgia, left-handed quarterback. Dude's huge, man. He's a sight. When you watch him, you'll kind of have that same on a lesser field because he's never actually played in a college game. But you're gonna get a Joe Milton vibe. Dude can sling it. It's crazy, and he can fly too. For a big dude, for a dude that size, he can move. So I see you're digging into him. Yeah, but like I said, he's the third string. He's not going to play this year. That's the real reason I even wanted to talk about him, is just because I'm interested to see what he can do. And then as Swan would at least have to play this year and next, and then go to the NFL would be crazy. But if he did, you would have at least a good 2 or 3 years under possibly Walter Taylor. But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to kind of give him some cred just because I was fascinated by him in the spring game.
So who's your let's do this. Who do you think's gonna have a breakout year for Vanderbilt? A guy that has been on the brink that you think is really just gonna go off this year?
Quincy Skinner Jr. will be on everybody's radar by the end of the year. He made some really nice catches late in the season. Had a great catch against Kentucky down the sideline on 4th down. This dude was a baller. I think he has a breakout season on the offensive side of the ball. And with Will Sheppard getting a lot of double looks, he'll have a lot of single high coverage where he can go get the ball, and I hope he does. Heard great things about him in scrimmages and at the spring game. In the red zone, this dude's a dog. I think you see Quincy Skinner have a breakout year on offense. On the other side of the ball, Yolanin Alturo, and I think I said that incorrectly. I'm sure I did.
You did.
He is 6'8", 310 pounds. He's a German. He's only been playing football for 2.5 years. This dude's raw. We redshirted him last year. I'm hearing he's going to start or at least compete for the starting job in fall camp at nose tackle. This dude is a guy Vanderbilt needs, and I think everyone will know his name after this year. Barton Simmons has rang it home about this kid and how he should have gotten more offers, and he only didn't because of his lack of experience. He called him a 5-star. He said, for obviously this dude was the number one decision maker for 247. I trust him a lot. But he said that if this dude plays high school in America for all 4 years, he's easily a 5-star defensive lineman, and it's not close. So he said he's not even borderline 4-star. He would be one of the best 5-stars. So I think this is a dude Vanderbilt doesn't normally get. Maybe we got lucky in having Barton on the staff and being able to find this guy. You'll know his name. So Yolanin, don't know how to say his last name, and Quincy Skinner Jr. Would be my two. Britt, if you had to give me two guys, one on each side of the ball, who you got?
Offense is obvious. It's Ramel Keaton. Ramel Keaton's going to have a good year this year. Defense, I'm going to say Elijah Herring.
Okay.
Hold on. Give me a second.
Okay. You threw me a curveball.
Give me a second. There's two brothers. I think I might have got them mixed up. No, it's Elijah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he a linebacker?
Yes, he is.
Okay, I thought so. I just want to make sure. That's a curveball. I didn't see you saying that name, but I like that. Just basically because I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, I honestly was unprepared, and now I doubt my answer.
That's really good. It's really good. But yeah, I mean, in the coming time here, it's going to be wide open. We've kind of already set up some. This is going to be the last episode of not a full packed hour set football talk, because I think from here on out we're going to have a lot of football, a lot of things coming at you. Vanderbilt starts fall camp tomorrow, so you'll have, by this time next week, you almost have a full week of fall camp that Vanderbilt's played or practiced in. We have our first scrimmage 10 days from tomorrow. I believe it's next Friday or Saturday, I think, is Vanderbilt's first scrimmage. So looking forward to that, man. Golly, I can't talk bad enough about how much I want football to be here. I've got my future bets locked in. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, this year our gambling segments with the locksmith are going to be a lot more structured.
Yes, they are. We're going to make sure me and
competitive.
Britt have the same numbers. Last year there was a few weeks where I picked 5 or 6 games. Britt maybe picked 4 or 5, then vice versa the next week. And we're going to go to a point system. We're going to live up to our end of the bargain. We're going to make some deal before football season starts. What happening? Who wins? Who loses? Is there punishment? Whatever. We'll talk about all that here on Where's the Line, of course. Britt's fired up. He just clapped. You couldn't hear it for some reason, but this man was fired up.
Oh, my bad.
He's hitting you with the clap. No, you good.
Yeah, man. I feel like a journalist right now.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, it's good to feel this way. Listen, Britt, it's first home game at Neyland. Who is it? Is it like
you
UTSA?
really just caught me off guard. It's Austin Peay.
Austin Peay. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me the vibe. I mean, I know it's Austin Peay, but give me the vibe.
52.
Oh, he's scoring scores
to 10.
Okay.
I
was just talking about your vibe. Your vibe on the way there. That's what I was talking about. And when you get in the stadium, what's your vibe? I didn't need a score check. I appreciate it, but just what's your vibe? Your personal.
The vibe. It's all I gotta say is we're playing Austin Peay and I'm going. That's all.
Okay.
That's all that needs to be said. Because I'm big game Brit. I don't go watch Akron. I don't go watch UT Martin.
Got it.
Like that's a waste of my time. It's a waste of my time. But Austin Peay, 5 Eastern, Neyland Stadium. I'll be in X5, row 15, seat 5 and 6. Well, I don't take up both of them, but I will be in seat 6.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm fixing to go unhinged. I mean, I think that's my vibe. My vibe in Hawaii, or not in Hawaii. I was in Hawaii last year. My vibe in Nashville against Hawaii is unhinged.
Can I go with you?
Yes, you can go with me. I've invited you to an away game too. You just won't go with me.
You don't have to take me. It's fine.
No, you can come with me. I have like a bunch of tickets.
I actually have to work.
Okay. Yeah, I would say I'll come with you.
I 100% promise you I have to work.
Never talk to me again. Okay, good. Me and Brett we're going to an away game. We're going to an away game this year. I don't care. Okay. That's all there is for Where's the Line at the end here. Regardless, though, it has been myself, Joseph West, and my great friend Brett Dillard here on Where's the Line, and we hope you guys simply
have a great day.